Bad Lineal Boxing TV. Could you kindly introduce yourself to the camera?
Yeah, sure. I'm Bec Connolly.
Bec Connolly?
Yeah.
Professional boxer?
Yeah.
First, I've got to start. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you very much.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
29 years young.
29 years young?
Not 21 anymore.
You doing anything special for your birthday?
I thought I'd have some water and continue my weight cut.
Perfect. Sounds like a good one.
Put a bit of lemon and lime in there.
Well, you could really jazz it up and put a bit of cucumber in the water.
Oh, it's a bit
maybe?
too special. Grapefruit, maybe. Peppermint tea before bed.
You've got a fantastic story. Where can I start? Tell me about your professional career first.
Yeah, I turned over in 2017, so
Yeah.
it's been a couple of years now.
I bet they've gone quick, haven't they?
Oh, so, like, literally,
Yeah.
I was thinking about it the other day, like, last year was just crazy. We fitted in 4 fights, and it was potentially 5, but the March show got cancelled because we had that strange snowstorm, and none of the fighters could get in from all over the world. So, we were actually fighting the first fight of the year, this time last year, the 28th of April, but it was at York Hall. Okay. So we've got exactly the same setup this year.
Yeah.
Nothing much changes. Same life, different year.
So what's your record at the moment? Because you're fighting top girls, aren't you?
Yeah, I kind of got chucked in at the deep end. So I've got 4 losses and 1 win.
And you've operated in a high standard, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been... Do you know what? I don't regret anything. I really don't.
Does it frustrate you a little bit because the women, that the pool's so much smaller, so you do have to fight so much higher competition quicker?
I've thought long and hard about this, and it swings and roundabouts. Like, on the one hand, you watch teammates and that get to build their professional records. They get to go in at fights that are at the correct level for them and get their records built up and learn on the way up. Yeah. And I'm thinking, well, I haven't had learning opportunities.
Yeah,
I've just like
you're learning on the job, aren't you? Basically in the ring.
Yeah, but then swings and roundabouts. Also, they're not going to get the same opportunities for titles and that as quickly as I could potentially get that. So
where it goes down one way, you get the positive another. So
absolutely, it would only take a couple of fights, and I'm really in the mix there. Whereas they might be taking 10, 15 fights to be in the mix for the same equivalent title. So. It is what it is.
Of course. And listen, boxing records are for DJs, aren't they? It's just... it means nothing.
Each and every one absolutely broke my heart. I won't lie about it. I give my everything to it day in, day out. It's what I love. And I take everything to heart. I really do. But having said that, I genuinely learnt so much, not just in the fights, but about myself from those fights. And I'm like 10 times the fighter that I was just from taking those fights.
It's so hard to explain to someone as well, because like does sound stupid, but I've only boxed, like I said to other guys, like at an amateur level, not much, but it's a life lesson, isn't it? You learn so much about yourself, and you improve as a person. It makes you more humble. It's hard to describe, but
and they've been cracking women as well. Like, people always think there's some kind of aggro between you and you disrespect, and that's not the case at all. These women have got to the level they're at, and I think I'd be a fool to come out of there and not have confidence from being in those fights and thinking, right, I was right in that to the end.
You've got to take your positive out of everything.
Absolutely.
And women's boxing, I mean this in the nicest possible way, but when I was growing up, I used to watch, what was her name? Used to fight Mike Tyson's undercard, Christine.
I know who you mean.
Yeah, but I used to watch her, and she was not in a horrible way, but a little bit of a gimmick, because he used to just roll her out, and she used to knock out someone. But now Chrissy Martin, thank you, brilliant. That was going to kill me. I was going to have to Google that and cut it out.
She's a little ledge.
Amazing boxer, and there was always just. It was all, we'll put her on before that. But now women's boxing is just, the standard alone is just...
It's really, and it's in the last 2 years, when they changed the rules that you could box Olympic and professional.
That's right. And they changed the 3 minutes to 2 as well. I think that helps as well, 3-minute rounds. And
so with the 3-minute rounds, people think that we can't fight those.
That's right, yeah.
I was actually the first woman in the UK to fight the 3-minute rounds like the men. And it's optional every single time. A lot of it comes down to people forget that this is a business as well. We're doing what we love, but it's a business. And you want more money for fighting for longer, so most women will opt for the 2-minute rounds. I'm fighting the 2-minute rounds this time. It makes financial sense to do so, but you can choose to do the 3-minute rounds. The only reason they've stated that the world title fights and the title fights are 10-2s are because the scientific evidence and the difference between like concussion rates with men and women and what level that sits at. I don't know the science myself, but I trust that they've looked into that, and there's no reason why you could fight over 6 rounds at 3 minutes but can't do 10 unless there was a good reason. So
what kind of women boxers have you watched and admired?
Yeah, loads. Heather Hardy in New York was definitely someone that when I was just starting out, I was like, okay, if this chick can do it, she's a bit of an inspiration. And then Layla Ali, obviously, especially with Paddy's connections. They've just been, like, there's so many good women out there. Lady Hammer, like the Lady Hammer Shields fight, I was gutted last weekend for her because I'm a big Hammer fan. Like, I think she's a real classy, like, boxer and person. But I thought they put on a great show. Yeah. Definitely.
And then the standard now, obviously, she's the well-known one, but Kate Taylor now, you watch her and she's
phenomenal. And
just mesmerising.
Yeah. And she's, people like that have come up through the amateurs and they are outstanding athletes. And you've got the likes of Terry Harper now going up as well. She's in the same division as Casey Taylor. It's only going to get better. People are going to be watching in awe, I think. So they're doing us all a favour. And
like just mesmerising as well. Like just good competitive fights. They're just really, really.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's always really, really gutting when you hear people that are not necessarily massively into boxing or anything else, but they think that the women's fights are somehow going to be less entertaining, less violent maybe. I don't know.
Oh, believe me, I've seen a few. I wouldn't want to forget your birthday, that's all I'm
No, today, alright? So yeah, it is. I love more than anything, like I was saying this the other day, I always sell all my tickets, and I'm so grateful to the people that make the effort to support me time and time again, especially like we were saying, we were on a losing record last year and they've still got complete 100% faith in me.
Absolutely.
And that's perfect. I'm never shy about coming forward and saying, look, I need these ticket sales. The first 50 are always like, that's the team, they buy that without question. The next 50 are the people that wouldn't necessarily maybe go to the boxing otherwise, and you kind of push it on them. And then they come up afterwards and they're like, oh, I get it, I'm a female fight fan now. And that's that's the key thing.
So rewarding as well, and exactly that. People don't realise, for boxers like you, this is your life, and selling tickets is a huge part of it.
And do you know what? Some I think I'm different maybe to a lot of the other boxers in that I am prepared to go out there and put myself out there and sell and sell and sell, because that I'm the product, and without the sales we're not getting anywhere. And I was asking myself, it's a bit cringeworthy sometimes, and I know a lot of them don't want to do it because they feel like, oh, pestering people, it's cringy, I don't want to do it. That's pride, and that is ego. And you've got to leave that. Get over your own ego and get past that.
And on the other side of it as well, you put all this effort in. You want people to see you there, to see what I do. This is what I'm doing. This is what.
Yeah, it's that double-edged sword, isn't it? It's like a love-hate relationship. But
obviously, how do people that aren't boxing fans and you tell them you're a boxer, how do they react to that? Because you don't look like your stereotypical boxer.
Oh, I don't know what the stereotypical boxer
like your nose over here. People that don't know boxing.
Oh, my nose, I'm definitely sorting this nose out when I'm done with boxing. It pains me every day. I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh.
I've got a big nose anyway, it's to block all the punches.
I looked at some pictures the other day. It was only when I think it was about 4 years ago I broke my nose, and it never quite healed. And it's broken loads of times since. But I was looking at a picture and I was like, oh, that's my nice little nose without the hook in it. So one day,
pre-boxing nose.
Coming back for you.
So obviously you've. Can I go into your sort of past before boxing?
Yeah, sure.
You said you've had a bit of a 4 children.
Yeah, just a crazy. I've always been really just outgoing and curious. I always let my curiosity lead me everywhere. I left home when I was 17 and I didn't know what I was going to do, where I was going, but I was off on an adventure.
Like a free spirit.
I left for Australia and then lived all over the place, like really fortunate. I've always been quite a capable woman and was in jobs that paid well, and I was able to keep moving and had some really, really good experiences along the way. And then I was 21 when I was in Swindon and met my ex-husband, and I fell pregnant straight away with our first daughter. And then the next 6 years of my life, it wasn't a good, healthy marriage. It was a very abusive marriage. So when I got divorced, you just take stock, don't you? Like anyone in a divorce, the situation, like it's just a time to reevaluate and see where you're at. And I was like, oh, you've really like lost yourself in this. Like you lost who you were.
Goes so quick, doesn't it, as well?
Like in a flash. And I had 4 under, because I had the kids back to back, and I had 4 under 5s with me. And I just remember thinking, because the divorce happened when I was 8 months pregnant with our 4th. So I've got a newborn and an 11-month-old and the 2 girls that were slightly older.
How do you do it?
And I was just like, right, there's tough. A way to do this, and we are going to figure it out. And people, I never doubted myself though. I was in a bad way, a real bad way, but I knew who I was, I knew what I was capable of, and people were like, you'll end up on benefit, she won't be able to work for us, she won't be able to like turn it around. People are always so willing to tell you what you can't do.
Nobody tells you what you can do.
And I just thought, you've just got to block that out. I was like, I'm absolutely gonna not only like manage to do this, but I went back to work full time, and then I was like, I'm not happy working for someone else. So my qualifications were in something completely different to nutrition then, and nutrition was what I was interested in. They were like, this course is going to take you 4 years, you'll never be able to do that, work full time and do the kids and keep up with training and everything else. And I was like, I'm going to do it in 6 months. And 6 months later, I qualified. And I was like, I'm going to work for myself. And I remember sitting with my best mate in the pub on a Sunday afternoon. And I was like, I'm going to work for myself. I'm going to set up my own business.
As you do, yeah.
She was like, when are you going to do that? I was like, probably tomorrow. And I haven't looked back since. And everyone's like, businesses fail, they're too hard in the first couple of years. And I'm 5 years on now, and I'm able to support my family with that. At the same time that was happening, I'd lost my way with sport as well, because I was always really, really sporty when I was younger. And right up until I left home. My one saving grace was that I've always run. Like even when I was in a bad way, like I always kept running up. And fighting was the one thing I did I had my first fight when I was 6 years old, and I absolutely loved it. And then I fought right up until like 15, 16. Got my collarbone broke and my shoulder dislocated in my last fight.
Very painful, isn't it? That is.
Yeah, it was quite, but it was more, didn't have the guidance to go back to do what I loved at that time, and I just used it as an excuse like any kid does, like I'm not meant to be doing this isn't for me anyway. But my dad always said, like, this is what you should be doing, like, and we left it at that. And then you grow up and everything else happens, and you're so far from an athlete that it's almost a joke. So Swindon was a fighting town, like when I was going through the divorce and that, and I was watching, I think I've been out to see someone in one of the white collar shows, and I was like, do that. And tried out a few gyms, and then came in here, hit it off with Paddy straight away, absolutely fell in love with boxing. And I remember thinking, this isn't going to work if I was borrowing my ex-sister-in-law to like babysit on an evening so I could shoot off. And I was thinking, Saturday morning, like boxing he does here, I'm just going to have to try it and bring the kids in, and what's the worst that's going to happen? He's going to like kick it out and say you can't do this. So I rock up on the Saturday And I would let kids line up behind me.
One kid skipping, the others.
I've got a car seat in one hand and the bigger car seat in the other one. And then I've got the two girls behind me. Morning. It's like, put them by the ring. And the rest is like history, as I say. But yeah, it was just finding ways around problems, because then when I did really get into it, I knew I wanted to fight straight away again. So the fight was booked in. And I thought, I'm going to have to find a way around this childcare and working and everything else. And again, people sort of laughed, like, how's she going to do this? And then I came up with this idea to have foreign students come and live with us. Okay. And I would teach them English and feed them and house them in exchange that I could shoot off for my runs every morning.
Oh, wow,
and come to the gym whenever I liked.
Whatever works.
And it was just chaos. But the kids learned Italian, they learned Spanish, they had a whale of a time. We met people from all over the world, and I got to get my ass back in shape and back down the gym. There's always a way. There's always a way. It's not always nice and it's not always easy, but there's always a way if you want one.
Wow. If it was easy, everyone would do it.
There you go.
God, you're making me tired just listening to all that.
I'm tired now. I'm going to go sleep for my birthday. No, it's been great. And then Paddy came out to the first boxing thing. The one thing, I wanted my dad to come and watch me fight, because he was made up that I was going back to fighting, and he died unfortunately I think it was 3 months before the first fight, so he didn't quite make it. I know. But that fight, I walked back into the gym afterwards, and they'd made a real huge deal of it, because I stopped her in the second, and I was like, yeah, this is great. I really like this, like totally like falling in love with boxing now. And he was like, why don't you come and fight on the amateur team? And I was like, yes, I will do that. I'd love to do that. And the rest is history.
So you're just telling me another interesting story as well, children's holidays. You normally go to Pontins or Butlins or a trip down to the seaside. Where did you go? Yeah,
so the problem that I had with the kids in the first place was that there was too many children to adult ratio to get a passport and go abroad, so I had to wait till I had enough over fives to be able to do that. So that was 2016, so I got their passports all sorted and we shot off to Rome straight away. And,
as you do,
Yeah, no, we wanted to be gladiators for the weekend, didn't we? But then because I work so many long hours, and it's like, it is 16-hour days all day, every day, and the kids have sacrificed a lot of their weekends and everything else, because mum's always busy, mum's always doing stuff. December, we shut for 2 weeks in here, and we're real quiet, so December's kind of the opportunity. So the first year that we had the passports, I took them travelling around Thailand in the December. That was, everyone thought I was absolutely off my head. They were like,
So just you and 4 children?
Yeah.
And what the ages again?
And it was absolutely fine. At the time, it was 4, 5, 7 and 8.
I took 2 children, my niece and nephew, to Asda for an afternoon. It was in Cheshunt World Adventures. It was the hardest day of my life.
Do you know what? It's getting harder now. I'm getting into the teens, but back then, exemplary behaviour from them at all times. We just had such a great time. We got to see and do so much, and they experienced so many things that like so many other kids haven't. We went to one of the infamous Ladyboy shows and I've got videos of the kids teaching the Ladyboys like how to cartwheel and handstand outside.
I hope that's all they were getting taught. Let's put that out there before anyone...
Let's go and have a look in there and see what's going on. Well, you just... it was really eye-opening and they absolutely loved it. And then the year after, we went to North Africa. We made a record attempt to be the youngest people to reach the summit of Mount Takao.
As you do, yeah.
Well, that's a funny story as well, because everyone's like, why are you making a world record attempt? And I was like, well, we just want to. But actually, I got my feet and meters mixed up when I booked it all. And I thought it was feet, but it's actually meters. And it wasn't until one of my mates said, have you got all the winter gear and that? And I said, mate, we're going to North Africa. It's not going to be cold. She's like, the second you get above that, I was like, you what? And then I looked at I was like, oh wow. And then I was like, this is kind of cool. Like, everything happens for a reason. Kids, in for a penny, in for a pound. My 5-year-old's looking at me like, that is a long way, Mum. But we got all the gear, made our attempt, 3 days of straight climbing. They were amazing. Like, they dug deep so much. My little one at the time wanted to be a Power Ranger, so I was just in his ear like, would a Power Ranger quit? Would a Power Ranger be doing that? Would a Power Ranger? And we got to the refuge bit where the climbers like rest before they make their final summit, about 3 a.m. in the morning, and they hadn't actually taken any of the tents or anything for there. They were like, well, we didn't think you'd make it. Like, we thought you'd have failed like days ago.
What are you still doing here?
So we're going to let you stay. And obviously all the people in the refuge are all like travellers from around the world with their beer and their poker games going on, and they all stopped and played Snap and like everything with the kids.
Stuck in the mud.
And then we're making the final like ascent, and it's pitch black. It was beautiful, and I got really emotional because they're having a whale of a time, but I can't see anything because there's no unnatural light, and I'm struggling with some of this climb, and I'm thinking, if I'm struggling physically, like, what are they managing? And we got 300 metres from the summit, and my youngest, the 5-year-old, he got altitude sickness, and his heart rate was over 200, and we had to descend like rapidly. Anyone else?
Scary?
Yeah, it really was. I was kind of like, oh, Bec, you've actually put them in danger. Like, this isn't a joke. But the dude that sort of shared my vision at the bottom and was willing to take us up, he was amazing. He had him descended like so quickly.
And they're so good. They know their stuff, don't they?
Yeah, and I managed to get down, and he was like, at any other point, you'd let someone rest and reattempt it, but there's no studies on it because no one's done it.
Wow.
So, I took him to an all-inclusive for a few days afterwards to rest and recuperate, and all these siblings and that, they said to him, oh, don't worry, Reggie, that's amazing, 300 metres, you're still the youngest person ever, blah, blah, blah. And then he'd done something to annoy them in the hotel, and they were like, and you lost us our world record attempt. Like typical kids.
Just snotted everywhere.
Wow.
And it all comes out then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How did he take it? Was he?
Oh, you said it was all right. You said I was fine.
I've got visions this 5-year-old like in the jungle, like Rocky, like with a big machete, like making a.
I've got actual pictures of him in the, because I took him to the jungle in Kawasaki, and we spent ages like. We spent a good week in the jungle.
Is this real? Are you telling me stories?
Yeah. And I've got here, they had massive bamboo sticks, and they're like fighting each other with them. So it's not too far-fetched, actually.
Wow.
They're all right now.
They're definitely being boxers, aren't they?
Yeah, my two boys, my middle boy Jim, he's very talented. Like, you get naturally talented people, don't you? And then people that work at...
And you're always a little bit biased because you're children as well, aren't you? But
and he's absolutely... I know he's absorbed it from because he's been in a car seat at the edge of the ring for the last like 7 years.
Grown up with it, isn't it? Yeah.
He's just got such a good. Yeah, he really has. Little southpaw.
Oh, how exciting!
And the other one's doing it. He's catching him up. But yeah, real good talent in gym.
They're teaching Bear Grylls tricks, aren't they? They're telling him what to do. Wow, what a story! You should write a book.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Wow. So, what's the end game of your boxing?
I want a title. I've never been shy about saying that.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier for me to be open and say those things now. Like back before amateurs, like I knew what I wanted. I knew I wanted to go pro, but it was so far-fetched and so far out of reach that
you can actually see it now, can't you?
Kept it to myself. Yeah, and you're running with it every day, and you're visualising it every day, and you're thinking, this is my dream and my dream alone.
You're scared to say it, sort of thing.
And I was like, Paddy will catch up eventually. And of course he did. And now people on the outside that don't know what we go through day in, day out, and how close we actually are and how much work we put in might be thinking, look at that record, is this even realistic? Is this? But I know me, and I know what we're working towards.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know if I keep going,
you'll get it.
I'll get it.
Are you very spiritual? Because you seem like you're like that universe sort of quote where you can visualise it and it will happen.
Yeah, I think, I wouldn't say I'm spiritual as such. I think you've got to know where you're going. You've got to know what you want.
Yeah, and have a goal.
And have complete and utter faith in that.
Yeah.
I think when you can't have faith in yourself, that's when the problems arise. Right. Like, everyone else can doubt you, but if you doubt yourself, like,
you've got no hope. Yeah.
Especially with fighting, like if you let that little seed get in there, like you've got no hope.
What's your fighting style? How do you fight?
Changing at the moment actually. Like when I first walked through the door and Paddy's like obviously built the technique in and wound me back in, and I was a scrapper and I just got that stubborn streak and I'd come forward and I'm like just like to be like to be in the scrap, and he gradually made a boxer of me. And then I really liked counter punch as well, so I like being on the outside, like being up on my toes. But you've got to be able to do a bit of everything to bring it all together. So hopefully this time people will see that that's what I've been working on. A little bit of everything, bringing it all together. I knew, without being negative to myself a long time ago, I'm never going to be the fastest, I'm never going to be the strongest, I'm never going to be the quickest feet, quickest hands, best combination. But I can be really very good at all of those things. And probably the work that I'm willing to do and my work ethic, I decided ages and ages ago, anything could happen, anything can happen in a fight, anything can change at any time. But I was never going to stand there and not be able to say that I gave it everything, that I didn't work, I was outworked. I never wanted to be outworked. Like I could take anything else. I could be less talented, I could be the lesser fighter on the night, I could be the unlucky one on the night, but I was never going to stand there and be the girl that was outworked. Yeah.
Everything else you can handle.
Yeah. So I always give it 100%. I never leave any stone unturned, and we really haven't. This camp's gone really well. So. And
what a great guy Paddy is as well, isn't he? Like a who's who. Like he knows everyone. He's been everywhere.
Do you know what? He's been everything to us for so many years now, and he's my mentor and friend and coach.
Yeah. But, does that give you a sort of like a bit of more responsibility because you really want to prove to Paddy as well? Yeah,
absolutely. And people don't really like. I want it as much for him as I want it for me and Swindon.
Sorry to interrupt. That's a sign of a beautiful relationship when you want to have your success to have that success with to share it as well.
Yeah, because I was just
because it's such a selfish sport. It's all for you, really, isn't it? But when you
and to take anyone can take a fighter that's been fighting years and years and years, a champion, and play with them and train them and coach them and toy them, like mould them into something a little bit better, go win some titles. But to take someone that's never put a pair of gloves on and that was just happy to be in a fight and mould them into something that's winning something, that's the end goal. I want that belt for both of us. Wow. I think you can teach absolutely everything in a person, but you can't put. I know myself now. I'm teaching and training and help coach the amateur team. You can give someone the technique. You can give them what you need to do. You can train them to do this, that, and the other. But if they haven't got that little spark inside, they haven't got the fight in them.
That's right.
You can't give.
That's something you can't teach, is it? That's something you can't teach. You can teach everything else. It's lovely. It must be lovely for Paddy as well, because the hours you put into that. Listen, I know the hours you put into this gym, and for a little something to come off in a ring. Do you know what I mean? That means the world to you've done.
Absolutely. I've always said it's amazing what can go through your head when you're fighting. Like I've always thought it could be like a comedy. The things that go through my head, like now's the time, do the move. I did the move. Wrong time, not the move. No, and I could almost see him in the corner, like Connolly. That was not the time for that move. And he's like, good timing. So it's just I really want it to all come together and put the performance on for Swindon, myself, and Paddy.
There's a nice little buzz about Swindon now, isn't there? A big card. On a big card as well, you always want to be the one that sort of puts out that standout performance. You want to be the one that come out, God, did you see her or did you see him?
And also, like, I feel that pressure as well because everyone buys the tickets from, like, we've got phenomenal talent. Like, it's an amazing card. They are amazing lads and I love them all dearly. but you buy the ticket from the fighter that you're a fan of.
Of course, yeah.
And you go to watch them, but you've got these 16 other fights.
You've got a vested interest in other people, but they'll look at you.
If you're going to remember one fight, it's the fight that stands out, and as the only girl fight, it's going to be mine, so that's going to be the fight that everyone kind of remembers. So it's like, oh, come on, you need to represent the women well here. Like, don't let them walk away.
Just a little bit of added pressure. Your nickname's Lady Luck. Why is that?
Because I have zero luck. It's been like an ongoing joke with the lads and Paddy and that in the gym. Like, if something can go wrong, and there's only a tiny chance of it happening, like, it would definitely happen to me.
Give me an example.
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Okay,
but
there's too many.
Yeah, there's too many. Every single day, it's like, only you, Connolly. I know. That would never happen in a normal world.
Listen, I've got some similar stuff that's, you wouldn't believe the stuff that's happened to me. And I think, really? Like, yeah, that actually happened.
But yeah, so when we were doing, like, so Paddy pulled out Lady Luck, and then we used to have these old army mats that we used to have to flip over as part of the training, and I'm flipping it about a couple of weeks after he said, that's your name, and he's gone, oh, there you go, flipper. I was like, that Lady Luck's already on my shorts, Paddy. It's too late. We signed it. We've like, I've got the shorts.
Yeah, they're printed everywhere now. Yeah, Lady Luck's not that bad.
It's quite lucky I put it on my shorts.
That could have been a good one, flipper though. That's
it's like, no, we've already decided.
Time out.
Yeah, so it's been quite a journey. I've still got so far to go.
Yeah.
But I've come such a long way as well.
Just listen to you. It's exciting. I just want to sort of watch you fight, just for the journey. It's just such a...
I think everyone thinks as well that the fight, like when you're under those lights and when the first round, like the bell's gone, that's the beginning of it. But it's not. You've already had 3-4 fights beforehand. Right. You've got to make the weight. Like, this week's about making weight, and then I've got the battle with myself in the change room. So
do you get nervous?
Oh, incredibly.
Yeah.
That was part of the reason. It wasn't so much getting hurt while I quit fighting. Yeah. It was more my nerves were ridiculous. Like, I would be being sick in the change room before I fight. And my coach at the time would be like, Bex, you're a good little fighter. Yeah. Like, when are you gonna like stop doing this to yourself? And I just thought, you know what, if you can't get control of yourself, then you're clearly not meant to be doing this. Yeah. Whereas Paddy was the first person in my life that took a completely different approach. And he was like...
stepped outside the box. And,
and takes the emotional side on board with me.
And that's so important, isn't it?
And worked on this nerve thing about, because I was always trying to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And of course you don't want to get rid of them.
No, you want to keep your nerves because that keeps you...
You need that, but you need to be able to...
challenge it and change it.
Yeah, channel it properly and use it effectively rather than it draining me. And I think after the first few fights together, it was like, well, this chick is absolutely shaking all over the place, can't get her shit together in the changing room, goes out, game face, delivers the performance. So I don't think there was ever that... Well, at least I hope there wasn't that doubt in his head.
He knew that, it's just...
She's got it when it comes down to it. We just need to sort this out.
Yeah.
I mean, Harry, who you interviewed before, like, young lad, we've got very similar senses of humour. And it's great when we're in the change room together because we do have a laugh. Like, humour throughout my entire life is the only thing banner like gets me through. It gets you through the darkest
Of course, you have to laugh,
don't
you? That's it.
So everyone's got their own thing, but... we're always cracking jokes in the changing room.
Yeah.
Just before we
just
go
to keep
on.
you going. And people look at you and think, you're mental, don't they? Like,
like, what is she on about now? Like,
I tell you a story as well. I did a little inter-club boxing. My friends very similar like that. They look at us and think we're mental. And I was massively overweight, but I was like doing like an inter-winter club, just having a move around with an older guy. There was loads of people there, and all I was worried about how fat I looked in my vest top. And I kept saying to him...
Yeah, no, we make jokes like that as well. Like, I'll say, is my makeup on point? Paddy's like being deadly serious, and I'll be like, how are my eyebrows? He's like, what? I'm like, well, I want to make sure they look right. He's like, Connolly.
So I was like, James, seriously, do I look right in this top? He goes, you look fine, seriously, you're absolutely fine. I was like, please, tell me the truth. And he was like, no, Steve, I'm telling you, you look fine. So I said, I'm off to do some stretching. He goes, okay. He went at the back and I was stretching the top. He goes, I thought you were stretching. I said, no, I'm stretching my open knees in. someone come in, and then just before the bell rang, it was only like a couple. It's just a spa basically, but there was loads of people watching. And just before I went out, I go, Steve, I'm lying, you do look really fan that top. Ding ding! I was looking at him like,
you good mates to do that.
But he knows me.
Yeah, that's the one thing about the pros actually. They make you wear a groin guard. So the first time that I had to, on the debut, I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, we need this up so people can see that this is a groin. I was like, I look about 30 stone. Make sure the groin guard's visible. Like, this isn't me, this is God.
People think you're absolutely nuts though, don't they? Like, is that all you're worried about? Your eyebrows and your cup?
Do you know what? It's so serious though, isn't it?
Oh, that's right.
I think if you don't laugh at it, it's so hard to explain, like, why you do what you do.
I did an interview, like, talking about how serious it is, and going to have I did an interview with Nick Blackwell. What a lovely, humbling guy, and obviously he's had his injuries. And he got really criticised because he sparred again after getting injured. And I said to him off camera, I was like, why did you do it? And he's like, because I just love it. And you just can't, it's just so humbling. Well. It's in my heart, it's in my DNA. Met Roy Jones Jr. last year, and I asked him, why did you keep boxing? He goes, if I stop boxing, I die. It's in my DNA. And you can't explain that to any. You boxers, like you're a different breed. Your DNA's different because you've got that in you. It's just. I found it so difficult to explain for so long. But I just read an autobiography last week of a fighter actually, and he explained it as winning is love. Yeah. Like, and that just encapsulates it so perfectly. Like the best feeling in the entire universe. Like. Everything the poets and the songwriters have written about for eternity, like that is that feeling when you win, your hand going up, that's pure love. Yeah, and nothing can beat that feeling.
Nothing can beat that. And the fact that to feel that outside of boxing, it needs to be reciprocated, everything else, and there's so many other factors, whereas in boxing it's so pure and it's so honest, and it's the fights.
You're laying your life on the line, aren't you, really?
And that's why it hurts so much when you lose. It's like a dent to the ego and a dent to the pride, but it's a dent to the heart as well. It's heartbreak.
I just had a white collar fight, but I fought a really good guy, and I hadn't done anything for 5 years, so 11 weeks I just trained. And I lost in the last round. I got put down.
Heartbreaking.
But it was like the flash knockdown, but I knew I'd lost, and that feeling I cannot describe. How like I was really humble. But my good God, that was the worst pain I've ever had. And I've watched Crystal Palace lose at Wembley. I've been through some bad stuff.
Up there with it. Yeah.
That's like a day to Disney World compared to that. But you put yourself out there, so come and support you.
You're just bare for everyone. Like it's the most raw and honest thing that I do. I might as well be naked in front of the whole room of people.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
Like,
no, you
absolutely wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't.
But you might as well be when you're in there because there's nowhere to hide. You're under complete scrutiny.
That's right.
And you've got to represent yourself well. There is.
I didn't mean you not be. I meant me be. Everyone would.
I don't think anyone should be naked in front of people at the Oasis on Saturday. Just for the record, nobody do that, and I would not.
Might sell a few more tickets.
So we've got this table.
What kind of show is this? I had naked ladies. Oh, that's down the road. That's the. Oh right, that club.
That's the after party.
No, but you meet some amazing people. It's such a good night, isn't it? People that never really watch it. And I've had people come out like, wow, that is just such an experience.
Yeah. And like we say, we've got some amazing talent on this show. And to have Luke and Ryan and everyone back home and on it.
And I always say, but this is gym. I love gyms like this. It's like a family, isn't it? Really?
Oh, they are family. They're my heart. I was just talking about this the other day. Like, it's a little bugbear of mine when people use blood's thicker than water to like stick up for family. And the saying is like, blood's thicker. The bloodshed in battles, the bonds that are formed there are like better than any of the water of the womb.
Yeah.
And I completely get that.
Yeah.
Because these guys are family.
Yeah.
And you have to fight on your own, but I go there with them, like they're.
It's strange, isn't it, as well, because you're in there and it's so selfish, but the team is so important.
Absolutely.
But when you're in there, it's like an.
Paddy's in that battle with me. He's not taking the punches, but he might as well be.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in it as much as I am, so. And you've got to trust him, haven't you?
Yeah, that does help, doesn't it? Especially when my mate's telling me I look fat before I go out there. It's like,
okay. If you see us shimmy, that means we're like, yeah, we got this.
And then he's like, protect your chin. Because I used to put my hand down. He goes, because your moobs are showing through the side. And I was like, the best thing ever. I was like,
brilliant.
I had a James Toney defence after that. I was like,
it was funny on the debut because I got a headbutt in the first round, like the opening, like
unintentionally
clash.
or just
both of us completely unintentional, but my head like came out like Star Trek, and we thought the fight was going to get called. How they let it go on, I don't know, but I was pleading with the mate. I was like, it's fine, it's a scratch. Like,
was it one of those ones that just completely
hematoma straight away?
Right. They're awful, aren't they, as well?
Yeah. So anyway, the doctor was like, we'll let it go for now. So Paddy's like, keep your hand up, everything else. And it went really well. We won every round, but between rounds, because he was concerned about the adrenaline and everything, he's like rubbing me legs, trying to like move the adrenaline. And I'm saying, you are bobbling my cellulite in front of a whole room of people, man. He's like, oh, shut
You're going to make me snot again.
So I've just blown your nose in front of a whole room of people. I was like, but subtly, like, don't wobble.
Do it a little bit gentle, like you.
Wobble a girl's fat. And he was like, you all right? I was like, yeah, I can cope with a head injury. I can't cope with looking bad.
There's not many people can have that relationship, is it? Where it's in a room full of people fighting and you're worried about your cellulite.
Stop doing that.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, not going to get many dates with that one, am I?
Do it the other side.
Back off.
Who are your sponsors? Do you have people sponsoring you and helping?
Yeah, so Edward Bays is the main one that's been so good to me this year. Like, it's allowed me to stop PTing as much.
Okay.
Because it was the late PTs that were killing me. Like, I was in here till like 11 o'clock at night sometimes, and by 8 o'clock I'm like, I'm really tired now. So I've been able to knock that on the head and just do my afternoon PT. So that's helped massively. DV Valenting, again, financial help. But then all the little things like Back to Fitness and Sarah have been helping with like physio and everything, so I don't pay for that. After the York Hall fight, we realised that I needed to work on like the mental aspect of the game a bit more. So we tried out psychologists and everything else, but Laura Cullingford, hypnotherapist, she's like worked really well for me, and to begin with it was like £50 a session, and she was having such
all adds up, doesn't
it? Success with it, but I was like, I can't keep like paying £50 a week for this, and she was like, I will sponsor you, like, so she does that, which is just
has that massively helped as well? Because
it's a huge help. I can't even describe how
in what respect has it helped? Just
because I'm always quite intrigued of how the body and the mind and the brain and everything works, and I'm always trying to self-develop and find out more about yourself and grow as a person. So I'd have probably looked into things more deeply anyway, but she explains it in a way that I totally understand, like rewiring the subconscious and why things are the way they are, and she's just very... she does half an hour of therapy, and then you have half an hour of hypnotherapy.
Oh, wow, okay.
It started off very professional, like she is very professional, it's not professional now, but just about sport.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, there's other aspects of your life that are taking over and filling up your stresses, and so now she's like takes over the whole lot, deals with it all, and it's just like that on the couch, blah blah blah. I love our couch.
Give it a can we?
Yeah, exactly that. But no, she's super talented.
If you think your body's interesting or stuff happens to you, but your mind's tenfold, isn't it? That it's just
the biggest part.
Yeah.
Because like Paddy says, like you can fight. You know you can deliver the punches, you know you can take the punches, you physically have a chin, like it's all there. So everything else, every other aspect of this is mental. And I think that's for every human being. Like there's not a human being on the planet that is not capable of me walking up to them and them getting smacked, but wanting to do it again. Like it's all mental. It's your mind that you've got to convince. Your body can't, literally, that's the saying, isn't it? Your body can achieve anything. It's your mind you have to convince. And it's so true. And I think until things start going a little bit wrong, I don't think you put as much effort into it. For me, I knew life was just, I wasn't dealing with things in the way I should be because I suddenly became claustrophobic 3 years ago.
That's horrendous, isn't it? When
never had any fears of anything. Don't get me wrong, like I don't like snakes and spiders, but I'm not scared of anything. Like I've always been, like I used to do a lot of those Tough Mudder stuffs with mates, and I was always the girl leaping off, no fear of heights, no fear of anything. And then all of a sudden I was like, don't like enclosed spaces.
Where's this come from?
To start with, I was like, well, it's all right. It's because I broke my nose and I've never had nasal breathing since. And I was just like, you're just trapped. Like you can't breathe through your nose. It's a bit more difficult. But then it turned out like it's just stress building up and trauma on trauma on trauma, and your brain just. I think we decided it was because I was in a head guard when all that stuff was happening, and it just like for some reason made a connection between being trapped and everything that was going on. And it's like suddenly you're.
And that's what they put it down to, is it? Wow.
Yeah. So it's just like unfortunate timing that happened at that exact moment that you're in, that you feel trapped. So I was like, right, we need to sort this out because I need to wear a head guard and I need to do these things. So so it's been good getting myself back under control because I didn't like having something that I didn't know why.
It's like a weight off your shoulders once that gets relieved, doesn't it? It's
like, because I don't think until you experience a panic attack for yourself, you ever fully understand like what it feels like. So for me, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing I can do in this world. My body is taking over.
I've got a couple of friends that suffer it really bad, and I had it once. I got locked in a toilet on holiday, and I was like, I'm going to die in here. Yeah. And of course you're not.
Absolutely not. Like, I'm not trapped in a head guard, but I was like, well, my throat thinks I am. I can't breathe. So it's like, I needed to get those things sorted because the last thing I needed was like convincing myself I was in danger when I wasn't.
Of course.
And anyone that says that premeditated violence and it is a beautiful sport, but that's what it is at the end of the day, doesn't make them apprehensive. They're either lying or they're a psychopath. And if they're a liar, then they're sat in that changing room feeling everything that I'm feeling. Of course. And I can live with that. That's an even playing field. And if they're sat there a psychopath enjoying every moment, then at some point in that fight they're going to get careless and they're going to open up, and you've just got to be ready to exploit that. So.
Strange sport, isn't it?
Funny old game.
I say to my mum, because I watch it, and my mum hates it. My mum hates everything about it. My dad likes it, but doesn't really enjoy it like I do. I just love it. It's my passion. It's my life. And I watch it like a game of chess. I thought, oh, look at that, it's beautiful. Look at, he's like covered in blood.
Yeah. I think you either see the creativity and the beauty in it, or you just see violence. I don't think you can teach someone to. You can open their eyes to it, but I think it also is a lot easier when you've got that kind of warrior mindset and spirit inside, because you're not looking at it with the same view as someone that's looking just
something really different about it. That's right, to do it, because you see people coming to the gym and they look all the part, and then you think they're great, and then they're just around punching a bag for 3 minutes. And no, that's not for me.
Absolutely,
it's a different kind of.
And I actually thought about this recently. Like I've always thought it's quite an intimidating like environment for a woman to come into, and like, I openly encourage women to come in, and you're kind of up against it because you're always like, they don't think I'm good enough because I'm a woman and I'm not meant to be doing this, and that kind of mindset. But then actually it's just as hard for a man to walk through this door if they're feeling some of those things. Like they're meant to be more equipped to,
of course,
to be able to fight. What are you doing, mister? But like recently, like I've joined 7 Rifles, so the British Army, because they've allowed women in now. So we got through that recently, and you're sort of in the same. I'm in the same boat I was all those years ago with boxing. That people are doubting whether women should be on the front line, whether women should be combat trained, whether you should be there. And it's interesting.
There's nothing you can't do, is there?
We're trying. God loves a trial, right? It's going to work out eventually. No, I just want that belt. Want that belt, and to represent Swindon well, make everyone proud.
What a lovely way to end the interview. Win the belt, make Swindon proud.
Say bye, Fagan. Bye.
How can people get hold of you for tickets and follow your journey? Have you got social media?
So Lady Luck Boxing on Instagram and Twitter, Bec Connolly on Facebook, and just give us a bell.
Oh, thanks so much for your time.
No, thank you.
I could have chatted to you all day. Sorry for ruining your birthday, but
29th going strong. Might be me 30th by the time we get done talking. She chats on a lot.
That's it. No, that was really enjoyed that. Apart from snotting everywhere, that was really good.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thanks so much for your time.
No worries.
And we'll see you Saturday.
Yeah, looking a bit different. Yeah, after that win.